All right, this is problem one from your NAGS practice assignment. We have the following. Given the figures 1, 2, 3, complete all 5 representations showing the relationship between the figure number and the total number of tiles. So remember, we need to set up our page, as you can see over here, with our NAGS and then sometimes picture at the bottom. If you need to pause this video right now to do that, please do. So um, welcome back, and you should have your sheet completely filled out. So we have our prompt. We have given the figures 1, 2, 3, complete all 5 representations, showing the relationship between the figure number and the total number of tiles. So we are looking for 5 representations, and we are provided with 1, 2, and 3 representations at the moment. So we need 5. So if I'm looking here, first off, what I'm seeing is that there are 3 tiles on the top of each figure. All right, so there's 1, 2, and 3. And then for figure 1, underneath the 3 tiles, there's 2 tiles. All right, for figure 2, I see that there are 3 tiles at the top. And then because it's figure 2 and there are 2 rows, there are 1, 2, and then 1, 2, which is a total of 4. All right, next for figure 3. All right, there's 3 tiles on top, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there are 3 rows of 2. All right, so figure 3, 1, 2, 3. Figure 2, 1, 2. Figure 1, 1. All right, so that's important to note. So we should see a pattern that has developed, and then we will be able to draw the rest of our figures. So figure 4, I'm going to look here, and that's going to still have our 3 up top, but because it's figure 4 and there's going to be 4 rows, it's going to go right there. And then we have figure 5. All right, and all of these are going to go down here, sometimes a picture. All right, so we were given some drawings, and that's where we're going to put them at the bottom of our page. Probably should have mentioned that earlier, but take a minute to make sure that you are putting those figures down there. All right, if you need to pause, do so now. So from there, all right, I just did this, and as we were talking through this, probably would help us to understand for us to do our sentence portion of this. All right, so we're going to write this out. So we're going to start with 3 tiles on top, as we saw in all of these figures, and then we're going to add a row of 2 tiles. All right, we're going to add a row of 2 tiles for each figure number underneath. So figure 1, there's 1 row of 2 tiles underneath. For figure 2, there's 2 rows of tiles underneath. For figure 3, there's 3 rows of tiles underneath. And we're going to want to write that in sentence form. All right, so you start with 3 tiles on top, then add a row of 2 tiles underneath for each figure number. So right then and there, we were able to do the bottom 2 portions of our NAGS, and we will keep moving forward. All right, so we're going to scroll down. Remember, pause at any time if you need to get stuff fixed on your paper. All right, so now you can see that we have these bottom 2 parts figured out. So now we are going to look at N, numerical. Right, well, we're going to create a table of the data that we're going to be able to collect here. Where we're going to look at a table set of points. So we're going to put our figure number up top. All right, in the middle will be our process, and then we're going to look at the total number of tiles. We got to organize all of this data. So let's look at figure number 1. Okay, figure number 1. So we'll write down here that we have figure number 1, and something that we have in common okay, for our process is that we have 3 tiles, and then we can do, and you could see how they grow. We can do 3 plus 2, and we can multiply that uh, by 1 because that's figure 1, all right? And that's going to actually help us algebraically in a little bit, all right? So 3 plus 2 times 1 is going to get you 5, all right? In figure 2, we have, we'll write our figure 2, we have 3 tiles, all right, and 2 rows. So each, the number of rows beneath is basically what's going to go in parentheses, or we're going to call that your figure number 2. That's what it's going to go there. So figure 1, the number 1 goes here. All right, so for this one, there's 2 rows, so we're going to plug in our 2. All right, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. All right, figure 3, we're going to have 3. We're going to keep following along this process. All right, figure 3 is going to be 3 plus 2 times 1, 2, 3. All right, and 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9. All right, and then we're just going to keep going. We got figure 4 and figure 5. Right? We technically now we should be able to see. We don't even need to look at them because we know that we're going to plug in our figure number right into here. All right. So figure 4, I'm going to plug a 4 in my parentheses. So it's going to be 3 plus 2 times 4. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3 is 11. All right. Now we have figure 5 where we're just going to plug in that 5 into our parentheses. So 3 plus 2 times 5. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is going to be 13. So when looking at our process, and we need to be able to assign variables, names, and to help direct us, we have f, which we're going to call our figure number, right? And the total number of tiles, we'll call that t. Okay, that'll be our t. So what our process for this, and we can do this for any number of figures, is going to always be what's consistent. Okay, and it's right here. These 3 plus 2 is going to be consistent. What changes and what we're going to add as our variable is our figure number. Okay, all right. So what that's going to look like is 3 plus 2f. All right, and that's going to be your process. All right, that'll be the process right there. All right, and all of this is going to go in the top part of your NAGS under the N numerical where you have your table slash points. All right, so we'll keep that there and then we'll scroll down. We are going to look at our algebraic equation. All right, so our algebraic equation, our A, and we have our algebraic equation right here. It's this line right here that's going to help us figure that out. All right, we have 3 plus 2f is equal to, if we plug this in, every time we plug this in, it gave us our output over here, which is 13. In this instance, it's going to be t. So our equation would be 3 plus 2 times f equals t. All right, where f is going to be your figure number, and t is going to be your total number of tiles. All right, and all of that information is going to go under the A part of our NAGS. All right, algebraic equation. Because we can plug in any figure number right into here, and that's going to give us the total number of tiles. All right, so now we can move on to our graph, okay? Our graph, where we're going to need to make a table of our x and y. So if I scroll back up, all right, our x and our y are actually given to us, okay? And they're given to us where we have our figure number and our total number of tiles. So our figure is going to be our input, which is also our x. All right, so our first ordered pair is going to be 1 and then 5 because our total number of tiles will be our output after we do the process, which is your y's. So our first set of ordered pairs is going to be 1 and 5. Then it's going to be 2 and 7. All right. 3 and 9. All right. 4 and 11. 5 and 13. Okay. So once I have those, I need to open up my good old best friend, Desmos. All right. And we need to plug those in. All right. So let's plug them in. Remember, we hit the plus sign. We add our table. We have 1, 5. We have 2, 7. We have 3, 9. We have 4, 11. We have 5, 13. All right. And remember, down here, we want to make sure that we hit our zoom fit if we can't see all our points, but we can see all our points. So I'm going to actually make this bigger. And what we're going to see here is that when we draw our graph, which we need to do, we're going to look at our y and our x, and we can see our x, we're numbering from one, by ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And for our y, we're going up by 5s, 5, 10, 15. So what we're going to want to make that look like is like the following. So we need to draw our graph. All right, so it should look something like this. And remember, along the x-axis, we went by ones. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and our x, okay, our x's are going to be our figure numbers. So we'll also write that at the bottom because we always have to label our stuff. And our y, we're going to go by, we said 5, 10, 15. All right, and this is our y is going to be our output. All right, and that's going to be our total number of tiles. All right, so we'll also identify that. All right, so at this point now we want to plot our points. We have 1, 5. Make that a little bigger. All right, we have 2 and 7. We have 3 and 9. We have 4 and 11. We have 5 and 13. All right, and it doesn't look perfect, but it gives you an idea of what this graph is going to look like. And we're going to label this as tiles. All right. Always got to have a title. You always need to label your X and Y axis. And then we are done. So you can rewind this video to where you need to check your work. If there are any parts that you didn't understand or need to fix, please do so.